about being transferred to Los Angeles County Jail if he gets indicted here in Los Angeles. Let's talk about it. First, let me tell you, everybody wants to report what TMZ has to say. Now, TMZs, they've been around a long time. They are now owned by Fox, and they pay for their information. They pay anybody for their information. Let me read it. Yes, TMZ pays for information including tips, photos, and videos, often framing it as paying for a product rather than a tip itself. The site has a network of sources and pays for exclusive content, which has been a key part of its controversial but successful business model. So, folks, you often wonder why is TMZ always the first? They pay for it. So now, what's going on in prison where Diddy's at? Well, I have Italian friends that are at Fort Dix. I have sources. And finally, one of them got me on their, just got cleared the other day and got me on their list, and they just called me this morning. Okay? Now, you see all sorts of rumors about what's going on with Diddy at Fort Dix. Right now, his biggest concern is this possible indictment here in Los Angeles. Hi, Ewan. How are you? Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, so that's what Diddy is worried about. You must understand where he's at Fort Dix. They call it a low. It's almost a camp. Okay, almost a camp. It's probably one of the best prisons that you can be in because I heard Murad Morelli this morning. He doesn't understand who's taking videos of Diddy in prison. What people don't know, and this has been going on since cell phones first came out. Fort Dix probably has more cell phones, prepaid cell phones they are, okay, than most cities have. Now, how do they get them? Well, the biggest city near Fort Dix is Trenton, New Jersey, which is the capital. Then you got Philadelphia, Atlantic City, New York City. So people could drive there anytime they want within an hour of New York City and be at Fort Dix. And they go at nighttime and they throw packages over the fence. That's one way. Okay? Now, there was another way. I don't know if they're still doing it. But the inmates used to cut the fence, sneak out, and meet people and get things to go back in. Yeah. Okay? They didn't escape. They went out to get things. They get drugs. They get phones. They get food. Anything they want. And they go back in. So almost everybody has a cell phone there. Okay? You're not supposed to have them, but they do. And they've been trying to stop that for years. I remember when I was locked up in NDC, all the guys who got at Fort Dix who got caught with cell phones would be transferred out of there. And when you're transferred, NDC Brooklyn's a holding place until you get destined to your next spot. Okay? All right, Kevin, thank you. A little leery, should I do this today, do this tomorrow? But I just got this call. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, Chris. Okay, God bless you, my friend. Okay? Look at folks, I pay for information too. I pay for it in different ways because this gentleman took the time to call me this morning. Okay, he's in prison. He's Italian. Now I want you to understand that in prison, the Italians stay with the Italians, whites stay with the whites, blacks stay with the blacks, the Spanish stay with the Spanish. Okay, you must understand that. Okay? So when I say I pay in a different way. You know why? Tomorrow morning I'll go to Western Union and I'll put a couple $100 in that guy's commissary for him. Okay? Those are the kind of things you do. I've been putting money in commissaries for different people that I know for so long, it's like second nature to me. All right? Because I've been in prison. I know how important that commissary is. You know, yesterday I said you got no stress in prison, okay? But your biggest, only stress is, all right, will your commissary be filled every month? I didn't have to worry about that, God bless, because of my children, okay? People say, hey, Lori, why do you ask people hit that thanks button, okay? Because that's extra money that helps me pay for the different things that I do. I have a cost attached to doing this here. Okay? So look, if you want to do it, you do it. Hey, good. I got A Will here. Hello, Piping Davy. Thank you, buddy. Okay? Someone said they could listen to me forever. I could tell you stories forever. You know, I really could. You know what's really funny? I used to crack up when I'd be around Sonny Frank Chase, Jimmy Cacci, and other gangsters, and they tell me prison story after prison story, and they tell me story after story, and I used to say to myself, I hope the hell when I get old that I'm not like that. And guess what? Here I am. I'll be 81 next month, and here I am, just like they are, telling stories. It's kind of funny, folks. But all right, let's go back to Diddy. Why? He's nervous, folks. He has a right to be nervous. Okay, remember, he's the one that asked for Fort Dix. He knew beforehand. He had people there. Okay, what he could do. He knew exactly everything. Okay, and he was making payoffs and so forth. Okay, I mean, I'm going to tell you something. If he gets indicted here in Los Angeles with this case, in case you don't know about the case, they call him a producer and a publicist. I'm confused with what he is. All right, uh, is that this guy named Hayes, Diddy, whatever you say, supposed to say, all right, here in Los Angeles in 2020 and 2021. He was this little confusing who introduced him to Diddy. Okay, one story says it was Biggie Small's son. The other is, well, there were two occasions. So Biggie Small's son, because the guy was producing some music, brought him to Diddy the first time. And that's when Diddy was doing something under the shirt of Biggie Small's shirt, and then he threw the shirt at the guy. And the second time, he really did something bad to this guy, allegedly. Okay, I'll say allegedly. All right. Thank you, B-Stat, for subscribing, folks. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do. Try do whatever you can to show me some love. You know, subscribe, like, share, whatever it is, okay? And if you want to show me love, there's many other ways. You can hit that thanks button. You can send money to my PayPal. It's in my profile. Okay, I'm not going to beg you for money. I don't beg. Okay, if you like what I say, you want to show me some love, it's appreciated. Okay, but let's get back. All right, these are alleged right now. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department is investigating this here. Hey, Chris, I had a real Tulsa King. I'm going to be watching that right after this show. Okay? Today I watched Landman and I watched Tulsa King. Okay? And my dear friend, Frank Grill, is in Tulsa King. Okay? He came in on this year. And for those of you that don't know Frank Grill, watch the show. He's been in over 100 movies. Great actor, good friend of mine, and he's filming right now Tulsa King and Superman. So when he's through, he's coming back to Los Angeles. I will be interviewing him. It'll be live right here on YouTube, so you're not going to want to miss it. Okay. Uh, So where Diddy's at now is Fort Dix. He's going to think he was in heaven. If he does get indicted here, if they find sufficient evidence and indict him here in Los Angeles, he'll be transported to Los Angeles County. That's where he will be. And folks, you think MDC was bad? And Diddy don't understand something. West Coast and East Coast people are totally different. The guards out here, they don't give a shit who you are. Okay? Back east, it's a little easier. Yeah, Patrick, it's gotten crazy here in Los Angeles as far as expenses are concerned. Uh, you can't believe it. Okay? We're paying $3 more a gallon of gas than the rest of the country. That's how crazy California is. And Newsom is making billions of dollars, the governor. He's the most crooked guy in the world, and he wants to run for president. You people vote for him for president, you're crazy. You're insane if you do. Okay? I hope he doesn't. Hey, we got Chris. Chris Conner, you're from Ireland. All right? Great country, Ireland, folks. Got a lot of friends there. Uh, so anyway, I've had a lot of friends and locked up in Los Angeles County. And every one of them told me the same thing. The moment they walked in, they had to fight somebody. Because it seems like if you got nice sneakers on, they want your sneakers. And you better fight. Whether you win or lose, it don't make a difference. But if you just give it up, forget about it. You're going to have the worst time in prison than anybody else. Yeah, you don't want to live here, Patrick. All right, Tennessee's a great place. I gotta tell you, Tennessee, Florida, those are two top places on my list here in the United States. But across the pond going west, Hawaii. I love Hawaii, but it's expensive there too. Okay, we're getting off subject here. So I just told you, all right? Now, I was locked up at Parker Center. Diddy won't be going there. All right. I went there because the offices of the Los Angeles Gangster Squad were there. But even that prison, okay? In every prison, you got everybody segregated. You got to remember, prison is the most segregated place probably in the country. Every prison, all right? The blacks stick with the blacks, whites with the white, Italians with Italian. You notice how I say whites and Italian is two different things? Because in prison they are. Okay? Yeah, I fought a lot back in the days. Of course I did. All right? Yeah, I did. So if Diddy gets indicted, and it looks like this guy, Hayes, has photos, text messages, and emails and stuff. So if he's got that there, I think Diddy could very well be indicted in Los Angeles. And just like, remember, they transferred Harvey Weinstein from New York to, and he was in Los Angeles County. But Harvey's an older guy, and he's an older guy, and they probably had him like in a special unit, okay? Because I know the prison he was in New York, they had him in a special unit too, okay? Diddy, more than likely, I don't know where they'll put him, all right? No, Eileen, it's not a federal charge, it's a state charge. And I'm going to tell you the difference between state and federal. You have a better chance of winning a trial in a state charge than you do federal. The prosecutors in the federal court are all good. The state, you got a good shot. As O.J. Simpson proved. O.J. Simpson won. So, Diddy hasn't been found guilty here yet. He hasn't been indicted here yet. All right. I'm just saying, allegedly, the possibility of having it is better than 50% at this time. Okay. And he doesn't want to be. He knows. He's heard how bad LA County is. He doesn't want to be there. Okay? Folks, I've been in prison like I told you, okay? It wasn't bad for me. All right? Because it's a mindset. All right? I think being Italian helped me out a lot, obviously, and not being a rat. All right? But, people in Los Angeles prison, you got the Aryan Brotherhood, you got the Nortangles, you got the Southsiders, you got the Crips, the Bloods, you got them all there. They don't like men who beat women. So Diddy's going to be in deep shit. All right? Somebody pay this man, Mr. Wright. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, somebody pay me. Okay? It's Sunday. Everybody's thinking of Thanksgiving right now. God bless you folks. Turkeys are more expensive this year. You're right. New Orleans, so you're right. Asian Jack sat by my couch for a year. I got a million stories to talk about him. But Brian, honestly, he's a waste of time. Okay? But, it's a shame. Praz from the Fugees just got 14 years in prison. I only met him one time briefly. He didn't live far from here, just a few blocks from where I am. Okay? And I actually met him one time when I was with Wyclef, Jerry Wonder, and I'm sure Haitian Jack was there too. Okay? They just stopped by to see him for a minute, and I said hello to him. Uh, Boy, if I knew he was trying to grab $20 million, I would have gotten closer to him. I'll tell you that much. Uh, but obviously, Haitian Jack didn't even know it. Because he would have been trying to grab it. That's what he does. Uh, Folks, I don't like looking up there and seeing zero. Okay? But, it's up to you folks. It is what it is. So I wanted to share that with you folks. All right. Now, I reviewed this case that the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department is investigating against uh, against Punk Diddy, and just depends. They gotta have sufficient charges because if the district attorney we have now takes the case, then he's going to go after Diddy vigorously on this charge. So we don't know when Diddy's going to be really getting out of jail, folks, out of prison. There could be many more charges coming from him from these civil lawsuits. Okay? Now, some of the civil lawsuits have no merit, but others, there's a couple out there that are underage, that were underage. Those possibly could become more charges. Okay? Are they investigating? Is the federal government investigating Diddy anymore? I don't know. Okay? I try to think like the prosecutors, okay, out of the Southern District, and maybe they've already had enough of Diddy, or maybe they're looking for more to put him away. We hear all these allegedly of unaliving Tupac and Biggie and many others, but they gotta have proof, okay? They gotta have substantial proof on this. Gunner, Detroit. I'm great, Gunner. How you doing, buddy? New Orleans. That's another good observant thing. They do that often. They wait until you get close to being released, and then boom, they indict you again. That's one thing that anybody in prison always worries about. Okay, and you just don't know where they're going to come from. They can come with a guy like Diddy. They can come from anywhere, any state. All right, take this guy. He's been all over the country and all over the world. Don't forget Harvey Weinstein. I think he had a case over in England too, didn't he? All right, all right. Oh, Gunner, I'm sorry to hear that. Damn, you're too young, Gunner. I pray for you, my friend. Everybody say a prayer for Gunner. He just got news. He's got terminal cancer. Now, you're the second person today. Uh, what about that Tatiana Schultzberg, who is the granddaughter of President Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy? All right, 35 years old. The doctors give her a year. All right, it's a shame. Hello, Gelati. How are you? Gigliota. Gigliotis. Did I say it right? I'm Mike. So, folks, a lot of news, a lot of things going on. Now, I want to talk a little bit. I mentioned, Murad Merrill. He's on live several times a day. He's got a fairly good show. But today he was confused of how somebody is taking videos of Diddy in prison. Well, obviously he's never been in prison, so he doesn't know how it works. Okay? And another thing, he's in another country. He's over there in England, but he does reporting, been reporting on Diddy a couple times a day. Okay? And a lot of people reporting on Diddy, they follow TMZ. I don't follow TMZ because I got to do my own research for it. I got to know what I'm saying, that I'm telling you when I come here, that I'm telling you truth and facts. Okay? No, what he doesn't realize, and I'm going to say this again, all right? There's probably more cell phones in Fort Dix, New Jersey than they got in Phoenix, Arizona of everybody, all right? Fort Dix, New Jersey is only 19 miles from Trenton. It's close to Philadelphia, Atlantic City, an hour drive from New York. And for years, what people do, all right, in two ways. Years ago, the inmates used to cut the fence, go out, meet somebody at their car, get the gun, not guns, get the drugs, get the cell phones, get food, whatever they wanted, they would get, and they run back in. Okay? And the other way is people just drive up and they throw it over the fence at nighttime. And then the inmates scurry around and pick them up. It's really easy. So almost everybody at Fort Dix, New Jersey has a cell phone. Now, if they get caught with it, which they very seldom do, all right, then they get transferred out. Okay? Sonia, great to see you, honey. God bless you, kid. Like to see you folks. Keep coming back here. All right. So, anyways, going talking about it, folks. And by the way, that thing's button is still a zero. Nobody's helping me out here today. Okay. All right. Ruth asked me if I ever met Frank Costello. You can read about it in my book. All right. The Accidental Gangster, from insurance salesman to Hollywood fixer. Yes, Frank was a good friend of mine, as well as Dean Martin and several other people. Okay, you had to read about it to know about it. All right. Uh, so, anyways, everybody has cell phones, and they're throw. What do they call them? I call them throwaway phones. Okay, they're prepaid phones. So some inmates got more than one. There's Sonia. God bless you, kid. Thank you. All right, Sonia started off there with $2.79. All right. Anybody, no matter how much you got, I appreciate it. Okay. All right. Skin. I never brushed nobody off. I thanked every single person, all right, that helped me out on that day. So know what you're talking about before you try to put me down. And Sonia again, God bless you, Sonia. I love you. People tell me I brush people off. Give me a break. I don't do that. I'm not that kind of guy. All right? I'm a very respectful gentleman. Okay? I don't appreciate what that guy just said about me. Sonia, God bless you. I Sonia, I got another friend in Italy right now. You just came back from there, right? Yeah, it was you, right? Wasn't it? Sonia, where were you visiting? All right? Uh, but anyway, so there's a lot of cell phones, and they could text the videos to a friend who calls TMZ, and how much you pay for videos in prison? They get $1. Boom. All right, all they do is everything done on the phone, zip, zip, and TMZ has all the photos of Diddy. Okay, so TMZ posted it. And you can see the photos, folks. Okay, and that's a lot of people, a lot of inmates, they use it for business. They want to call their girlfriends. Look, I had a bunkie. You only get 300 minutes a month. 300 minutes is only, all right, 60 minutes times 5 hours. All right, 5 hours a month you get. Now I would try to limit my calls. All right, 10 minutes call my son, 10 minutes call my other son, 10 minutes call my daughter, etc. And it goes on like that. But this guy wanted to know what his girlfriend was doing every minute, and the first 2 days of the month, he would burn every one of his 300 minutes by calling his girlfriend. All right? And some guys just do that. Okay? Some guys just do that. So what do they want next? They want those cell phones so they could be on the phone all the time with their girlfriend. It happens, folks. It really does. You know, I don't do shows often on Sunday. I try to relax. All right? But, you know, so I hope that Morelli understands, all right, how cell phones get. Do guards bring them in too? Absolutely. Okay? Guards bring in the cigarettes, the drugs, and the phones too. Okay? So in prison, if an inmate wants, especially an inmate with money like Diddy's got, there's nothing he can't have. Okay? Nothing. And they're saying that he's having a lot of sex there. Well, folks, every prison, they do this. All right? The guys don't have no woman around. So what's the next thing? They go to men, especially guys that have been in prison for a long time. Some guys, it's their first night in prison. All right? I don't know if he's doing that or not. Okay? I didn't ask about that. Okay? I was in prison. I knew that at nighttime you gotta go to the bathroom and, you walk by a stall, you see four legs under there. All right? You just shake your head and go on and try to until you find a stall that's empty. Okay? Mind your own business. That's what you do in prison. So, yeah, Gunner, the prison you were in is totally different than Fort Dix. All right? It's not as stringent, but if he comes to California, if he gets indicted here, he's going to have a rude awakening about the realities of what prison is really like, because they will put him in Los Angeles County Jail. It's not a nice place to go. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed this here. Okay? Yeah, you're right, Skinny. That's what I hear too. Diddy likes men. Okay, well, it's quite obvious. We know that. Okay? Uh, it was all over the trial. All right? And thank you, Sonia. I love you, kid. Someday we got to meet up. No, New Orleans, you will not do well on the West Coast. Hey there, Steven. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, Steven. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Jiggly Ortiz. I hope I'm saying it right, my friend. I try anyways. Okay? I only try to do my best, give you truth, and give you facts. So, folks, I want to thank you all on this Sunday for taking the time to come and visit with me. Okay? Uh, use my words of wisdom. You know, folks, one thing I taught my children, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And another thing I always tell you every day, and I'm going to tell you again today, be kind to others. Communicate with others. Sometimes it's just a simple, good morning, good afternoon, how you doing? I do that every place I go. When I'm taking a walk, every person I see, I'll say, good morning, how you doing? Okay? And, you do that. Yeah, refried. You're gonna love this one. So you have to get the replay, my friend. Okay, glad to see refried came here. He's been a strong supporter for a long time. Okay, and as well as Sonia, Queen, and many of you others. Okay, Stephen. All right, I see you folks. So, I want to thank you all again for coming here. Be kind, and as usual, all my love and respect to each and every one of you. Okay, folks? If I missed your name, I apologize, but I thank you all for supporting me, showing me your love and your kindness. Okay? I got the best group of people on YouTube, and I'm very happy about that. Thank you, folks. God bless.